Shit. A second.
Is that that one?
Yeah.
If I had money, tell you what I'd do. Go downtown, buy a Mercury or two. Crazy about a Mercury. I'm crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. Got friends.
Keep going.
I don't know the words. It's hard because I can.
I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. Hey there, mama, you look so fine. Driving around town in your Mercury 49. Crazy about a Mercury. I'm crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury.
Take me around again.
Down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road.
Well, all right now. Mighty fine.
Number
we're
one?
on it. We're on it. We're already there.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Ha-ho!
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention at all.
That's okay.
You know what that was? That was Mercury Blues, you see, because we were talking about Alan Jackson. But on New Year's Eve, I played a gig, just like a party, and
Right.
we did the David Lindley version, which is in D major. There's no bad version of Mercury Blues, by the way. It's a perfectly written blues song.
Really?
Yeah. It's just it makes every band sound good.
Wait, what key was the one you did in?
The David Lindley did it in D.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That's the original key. If
he
I
sings much-
had money, tell you what I'd do. Go
There
downtown,
you go.
buy a Mercury or two. Crazy about a Mercury. I'm crazy about
What's
a
great
Mercury.
is the 6 minor.
Gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road.
That's hard. That's
Really, really cool. Hi, it's the Eugene and Dylan Guitar Show. I'm
Hey
Eugene
there.
Edwards over here. That's Dr.
It's 2024.
Dylan Caligiuri right over there.
2024.
It's 2024. And
We're still playing songs from,
well,
1961.
Well, there hasn't been time to write new songs in 2024.
Make a better song. How about that? We'll play it. That's all.
No, I played this guitar for like 4 hours outdoors on New Year's Eve, and I feel like it's still mad at me for it. It's not singing tune. Is that possible?
I'm mad, so why not have the guitar be mad too? You know what I mean? Hey everybody, how you doing out there?
So so welcome to our new time of 5:30.
That's right.
So going for every Wednesday, you'll see us here at 5:30. By the way, I just want to let you know we will be starting a different Instagram account. It'll be called Eugene and Dylan
Dylan's
Guitar
Guitar
Show. And so we'll fold stuff over so you can get alerts there. And then for some reason,
Yeah.
on our YouTube site, we cannot make clips. It's arbitrary as to.
I think it's calculated.
No. I went to the settings. I said allow clips, and the option still isn't there.
Have we ruled out foreign interventions? Have we ruled out Russian? Have we ruled out?
Charo. I suspect Charo.
Charo has been after me for years.
Did you really get the offer for the gig?
No, but I would take it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because
Are you kidding me?
she's actually badass. Yeah, she plays flamenco.
Yes.
There's I don't know if he still works there, but there's a restaurant in Echo Park called Tex. It's an old kind of a Basque restaurant, French Basque
Is
restaurant.
that there anymore?
No, well, they just sold the building, so it's going to be going away soon. But my band had a residency there. We played every Monday night.
Wow.
And Luis, the bartender Luis, old guy, made a great Manhattan. He had been a guitar player his whole life.
Yeah.
And he was a flamenco player, and he played for Charo. He was like
Holy
one of the
crap.
that was his just for decades.
That's
he was
amazing.
That's what I thought. I
That's
asked,
incredible.
is she the real deal? Because on talk shows, you see her play a little bit.
I could tell she was the real deal because I play classical guitar.
And he
Yeah.
says,
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
absolutely. She learned since she was a kid. Yeah.
and Spanish traditional flamenco guitar.
Yeah.
Which is not a joke, people.
No, because
Okay?
someone was asking about this recently. I know very little about flamenco guitar, but
We knew that.
But it,
We knew that you knew.
and but it's like because it's mostly like it's very much dominated by the strumming patterns, and those are very specific. And usually, that's the Rocky Graziano right there. That's really impressive. That's Malagueña. I know Malagueña. I get right. That's diminished Genya. That's dominant 7 Genya.
These are all regions in the islands near.
Right. So listen, we have people. We have people. Mr. Coppola, Mr. Lingo, Mr. Waby, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Fogelman. We have
Sean's here. Hey,
but I see
Sean.
Lamara.
Yeah, it's great to
I
see
see
you.
Lamara. This is great. Sean Briz. Oh, hey, hello to Savannah, Georgia. How's
We're
it
bringing
going?
Charo back. I think we're going to try to get Charo on the show.
I saw her from a distance. I was at the Burbank airport because no one calls it Bob Hope, and across the street at that Marriott. She was like getting out of a car. She was like going into the lobby. I recognized Charo from across 2 parking lots across it. She looked like her hair could cut glass.
You know what's great about Burbank Airport? If you guys ever come to LA, assuming you don't already live in LA, come to Burbank Airport because it's an equalizer. There are no rich or poor people at Burbank Airport or in its surrounding hotels. All of them are relatively scuzzy. And so you really can't, you can't elevate and you can't, de-elevate. You're just,
you're right.
You're where you're at.
So, Dick, right before we went on air, this happened to like the volume pot, not the pot itself. It's just the cover.
All right, how many
knob.
years do you want out of that, though? Seriously? How many
it
years
just
do you
came
expect?
right off. So I start.
Reasonable expectations.
I just have to burn the guitar now, right? Throw it in the ocean. It's over. So now I need to borrow a little Phillips, and I'll just tighten this. But look, my first repair of 2024 already.
It's a flathead.
It's a flat. Oh, that's right. It is a flathead.
It's not a Phillips.
That's why I don't do my own repair work.
Yeah. Well.
So we want to talk about a few. Well, actually, we just want. It's a new year.
New year,
right? And maybe some people got new guitars.
Well, can we ask what did you get for Christmas? So if you can, write in the comments. Tell us if you got anything of significance. Hey Scott, good to see you. And tell us if you got anything of significance. And also, what are your guitar-related New Year's resolutions? I know there's going to be many. Yeah.
But here's the problem.
Okay.
I think I tell myself this every year.
Okay.
I say this to myself every year. Actually.
Yeah.
That's a better sentence construction. I really want to bear down on alternate thumb picking, proper Travis style. Although Merle's Travis only used 2 fingers.
2 fingers.
But you know how you and John McLennan, we have a lot of friends who Scott Goldbaum, very disciplined right hands.
Yeah.
And and whenever I start playing in that finger style and sort of I'm kind of jive. I'm admitting
What's the time code right now? Does anybody know what the time code is?
That I admitted this.
You can write it in there. We'll get that clipped out,
Look, Kevin Dixon got himself in-person guitar lesson.
Gibson Hummingbird.
Gibson Hummingbird. Oh, nice.
Wow. That's not
way to go, Mr. Fogelman. I expect you to learn.
Does that say in-prison guitar lessons?
No, in person.
In person. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
Resolution.
All right.
You have to go to the eye doctor. Gibson Hummingbird. I expect you to learn a lot of John Cougar Mellencamp songs on that.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
Congratulations, Kevin. That's a good choice.
It's a really good choice.
Yeah. There's
stuff.
Yeah.
Hello, Carl from Indiana.
So, but yeah. So, I mean, look, coming to the what we're going to talk about today, which is how to put goals into perspective, numeratizing them into 5 and saying 5 somethings. What is it again?
I don't know. Just 5 ways to get better. Like
to actually get better. To be like, you know what?
No, here's the thing. Look, we all want to get better, right? But we find ourselves whether it's we don't seem to be getting much out of our practice sessions, or maybe we get stuck on I'm trying to learn this song, it's not going well, and so then you spend weeks on one thing that's not going well, and maybe it's time to move over to something else. Come back to that song. It's not you, it's the song, that sort of stuff.
Okay, I got
so we
great
just have
stuff for you.
5 ideas, just things to pay attention to get yourself on the right track to improving as a musician this year.
I have things way more.
You have even more than the 5 I have here?
So I do like the first one, but if you're working on a technique like this,
Yeah, see,
or you're
yeah.
working on a new chord, or you're working on whatever you're working on, if you take a song you already know how to play and you ingrain that technique into it, it's already a half reward, because you like to play things you know how to play because it validates you. You're like, why do I want to play
I'm
stuff
successful when I
I'm
do that.
successful. I want to even I like my own brand, is what you're saying to yourself, right?
It's the Hair Club for Men guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Cy Sperling.
So
you know?
if you start, let's say it was this song, and you want to work on alternate bass note strum, and you already know, if I had money, tell you what I'd do, go downtown, buy a Mercury or two, crazy about a Mercury. All right, so you're gonna add bass note strum into it. If I had money, tell you what I'd do, go downtown, buy a Mercury or two, crazy about a Mercury, and just work on the 1 and 5. If it was hybrid picking, or whatever.
Right. So use material I know well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because it's not a resources issue.
No.
I don't even think it's a time. I could make the time.
You could do
for
the
it.
time.
I got it. You know what the
it's a
thing is?
dopamine issue.
I have to. Why? Oh yeah, because a pleasure receptor, right?
Thank you.
Okay. I have to follow my own advice.
Sure.
I have to do the stuff I tell my students to do, stuff I profess to do here on this show. Do you need to know? Am I gonna,
just because I can hear it.
Gonna hit you?
It's the buzzing. It's just the buzzing.
That's the sound of music, baby.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Leave it.
Muddy Waters invented electricity.
Double it. Yeah. So, but adding let's face it, adding a reward in works.
Yeah.
Adding reward in. So my first piece of advice, because if you make your advice too unconnected, untethered to like a specific type of goal or systematic way of achieving a goal, it's not really that attainable. It's not that actionable.
I just
Talk Mini 12 string.
Oh.
I love a good 12 string, by the way.
Wait, I'm looking at this. Sorry.
Okay, we got. I kind of jive as. Thank you, John.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's about 120. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, John.
I feel
Yeah. So,
I think I get T-shirts
but
made.
does this make sense? I mean, does this work for everyone? Few goals.
Yeah. I get. No, I want to look at Sean's goals. And by the way, Sean, if I may brag about you, Sean posts videos of himself. It's what we and all the Fender people, like, we always ask you to do this stuff, and Sean does it. And so Sean actually, I'll cover Sean at number 5. He's a great example. But Sean, I don't know. I think maybe Sean uses the videos as accountability. Like, I don't know if that's his goal.
Sean,
I'd like
is
to
that
find
what-
out
is
from
that what
Sean.
those
We have
are?
to have Sean as a guest. We have to fly him in from Savannah or something like that. But I see Sean, like, and he'll just say, like, I'm working on this. And you'll see, you could make a montage of Sean's improvement alone.
Yeah.
There's just things that you can just see him improving all the way. But, and I imagine he's clearly setting attainable goals and sustainable ones. And that's my number 1, right? We're just like that in terms of, like, what is it we want to learn? And so Sean has number 1, goal, his goals deeper into lead guitar. He wants to play and sing bass. I'm assuming he means like at the same time, which is its own discipline, because on bass, say it's a song you know well. On guitar, on bass, you may be playing on the other, like on the opposite side of each of the measure. Like you might be playing on 1 and 3 as opposed to on 2 and 4 heavy.
That's just one example. It gets really hard.
So,
to play
or
bass.
you might be walking
Any fingers and singing. is
walking
hard.
bass line as opposed to strumming and singing. It could be a thing, and then playing with other musicians, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then number 4, he says, he's gonna build a pedal board. Love it.
Yeah.
But he says accountability. He's on that. Okay. So those sound like, see, even Sean's got it. Those are attainable goals. I love playing with other musicians.
Well, we should ask Sean this. So, Sean, when it comes to you making a video and you feel the urge not to do it, and you're like, man, I just want to go do something that's easy right now. Like, how do you push through that? Because that's gonna be a big piece of information for people. And writing down the goal, like you just did, and even numeratizing it is going to be a huge way to achieve goals. Because when you numeratize things, I don't know, like likes maybe or money, people like it.
But those are measurable ways of knowing that you're working towards the thing. So that's number 1, is attainable and sustainable goals. So, so the finger style for me is like, I mean, because again, I can fake it. I just need to straighten some things out. So,
Sure.
so it's not like, but I didn't say I'm going to learn how to play bagpipes. You know, which would be like a whole other
pedal steel.
pedal steel, right? Baby steps here. So this is more of a very, very attainable goal for me. Number 2 would be goes for all of us, is work on our time, our rhythm. Okay. And I say work with a metronome, but by the way, it doesn't have to be a metronome.
No.
For some people, just that clicking just drives them nuts. But a lot of metronomes, I just have like a free app one that I still use on my phone. And you could set it to like a hi-hat, a cowbell, a wood block. You can set it to a different sound.
I would recommend an analog metronome if you're
Because
they're calming. They will make people like relax.
like
actually.
Morgan Freeman does in the movie Seven. He sets it at about 70 beats per minute to go to sleep.
Does he really?
Yeah. In the movie, you see it
that.
on the nightstand.
Yeah.
It's the only because he's been a detective his whole life, and he's
The
probably
murders and
and
the blood.
and 70 beats per minute is usually that's the average heartbeat of a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
So that's about the tempo we hear in the womb. So that's usually calming people down. Nice. They never talk about it in the movie. You just see him set the analog metronome. It's where an alarm clock would normally be,
That's
but it's
nice.
right there. Yeah,
That's
and
lovely.
he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
So
in that
there
movie.
you go. It's goal 2.
So, what's this? I'm too self-conscious to be able to record myself, much less put it out in the universe. Oh, but Jonathan, well,
I wouldn't worry about it if you can, because the recording yourself. We're stepping on number 5, huh?
It's actually it's 4 and 5. Actually, we're actually Jonathan. We're going to get to that.
You
We're
can't
gonna
make
get
one of them
let's
2.
let's just talk, huh?
You can't. They can't be. All right.
Oh yeah, 2 things. We can hold 2 thoughts at once.
Okay. All right.
This is how we get things done.
Okay.
So working with a metronome, working with our time. Now you said something a while back that when we hear ourselves, or when we hear music in general, we kind of hear 3 things at once.
Yep.
And really, the first thing is time, is rhythm. It's almost like we almost hear it before pitch and tone.
Well,
Or we recognize, we feel it before pitch and tone. I would actually make the argument that we can have pitch and we can't have notes unless there's a rhythm to them. Even if I just play G natural,
yeah.
I did stop that note at some point. I mean, this was either a quarter note or a half note or something, but it had a duration of time.
Yeah.
So I can watch this. I can clap time with no pitch or tone, right? So we have time without melody, but we can't have melody without time.
Yeah.
So let's work on our time. And when Sean mentioned playing with other musicians, that will force you into improving your time. Just you'll be sinking or swimming, basically. Like the solo will come to you, and if you're not ready, those changes are going to go by, and it's going to go by, and you just I fell behind.
Assuming they have decent time.
They have,
and if
decent
they
time.
don't, you have to you go. I wonder if we should put on a drum machine and see what it's like to practice with a drummer.
And all that really would be a metronome.
Yeah.
Also, on YouTube, they I feel like I've mentioned this before. There's guys, angels, if you ask me, drummers.
Every possible
Drummers they have a kit, and they'll say rock beat, 100 beats per minute, and they just play a steady rock beat, and usually they'll flash the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and they just play a steady rock beat. Play to that. Practice to that.
Sure.
But at least it's a consistent rhythm.
Yeah.
And you have to do that over and over again to infuse a sense of time, to really, really feel it. That's a huge amount of accountability there. And also, and there's a lot of things obviously you can do with a metronome. You can set it to halftime, and there's different things you can do, a little more advanced things to help your accountability. But and also with a metronome, if there's something look, when I go to the fingerstyle thing, I'm gonna have to force myself to start at a slow tempo. Even if it's a song I know really well, I'm probably gonna have to slow it down. So in my case, it's because I want to make sure that I don't cheat, basically, that I stick with whatever fingerstyle pattern that I'm supposed to play. You understand? But if it starts going fast, I'll start to just kind of I'll double up on a finger when I'm not supposed to. My assignment won't stay true. But if I stay slow, I can keep track of that and be accountable. I can actually get that whatever the pattern is. if I'm doing it slowly, I can watch it. I can keep track of myself, and then I'll ramp it up. And what do I always say, people? Slow is smooth.
Hey, Greg.
Smooth is fast.
Yeah.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, so, all right. So 2 things come to mind. 2 very actionable ideas for you. So one would be, let's start with the advanced idea first. So the advanced idea is to practice playing in an odd meter and then go back to playing in 4/4, because you're going to have to spend so much time paying attention to the oddness of the meter. So if you start with or if you're in 7, and try to be able to phrase and do all this stuff. So that's the advanced one. It's going to be pretty tricky. But then when you go back to playing in 4, it's like nothing. Yeah. It's because you've had to become so focal on time while you've been practicing that actually when you go back into 4, it's just it's just completely internalized.
By the way, learning some songs in odd meter, you don't have to start with Dave Brubeck.
No.
Money by Pink Floyd is in 7/4.
Sure, that's a good one.
You learn the riff to Money by Pink Floyd, it's in 7/4, and you'll feel it. Now, count it out loud. Be accountable to the 7/4 time signature. But again, it's a lick it's all in first position. It's easy to play, but it's a good way to kind of or even All You Need Is Love. It's it's in 7/4, then it straightens out to 4/4, then it goes back. There's some really common songs that are not difficult songs to learn, but they have some odd meter in them, and that it might be a nice way to kind of just kind of softly get yourself in there before you move on to the Rush stuff and Dave Brubeck.
So so that's the more advanced one, right? Yeah. So for the easier one of the main ways to be able to feel rhythm is to feel subdivisions. And if you don't understand what that means, it's okay, because feeling subdivisions is like feeling the emptiness and putting the emptiness on a grid.
Now you're talking my speed.
So if you're feeling what's not there, let's say you're playing just one note, this F here. All right, so if we play the 8th note, it's going to be... But now if you take the 8th note away, da, 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 the 16th note. So this is why playing slow is actually harder, because you have to...
Much harder. Ooh, this is Smokey Robinson. I feel like this is... Ooh, Baby Baby by the Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Yeah. I didn't know I had falsetto.
But so that's how you're going to feel time, is feel what's not there. And in order to feel what's not there, you have to practice feeling subdivisions. That's something we're going to talk about in our TIL class that's coming up.
Subdivisions is huge. By the way, I see somebody here. I can't make it. He says, I can feel rhythms,
but I struggle to count them in many cases.
Actually, I'd rather you be in that space and add the counting. Now, if you couldn't feel the rhythm, we'd have you start by counting, and then you eventually start to feel the rhythm because of the count. In this case, again, find something you know well, slow it down, and practice the counting. Practice the counting of it. Now, this is something I never really had to do consciously until you guys brought me in to be a Fender play instructor, because when we would teach a lot of that stuff, we would take, let's say the song was at 100 beats per minute. Well, we start teaching at 60 beats per minute.
Yeah.
And oh my, that was
hard to play songs
that was the
slow.
hardest part of teaching the Fender play lessons.
If you know it. That's a real problem.
Terrible. Like the Pearl Jam's Alive, that lick, right? Is that live?
It's
that one.
Yeah.
So to slow it way down and count out loud, it was like, I just want to play the lick.
Yeah.
But but if you're teaching it, you got to really, where is everything placed? And that was one of the ones, I mean, by the time I got to the day of shooting, it was fine.
Yep.
but I really had to really work on playing it
yeah.
at practically half speed.
Yeah.
But it was good for me, though.
Well, and what you really were doing is you had to record yourself before you shot the video.
Yeah. We'd make,
and this is why we're saying record yourself later on, because there's really no way to get an objective opinion about what you don't have objective information on.
right.
And objectivity comes from recording yourself.
Right. And honestly, I mean, we're blessed with the technology, even voice memos on our phone.
Yeah.
Just get, and listen, Jonathan, you don't have to put it out to the world.
Scott's advice is really good. The Fender Play community would be a good spot. There, nobody's going to.
That's a safe spot. That's true. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. So the other thing is, well, and we've already mentioned this, that the third thing would be take things slow.
Yeah,
we're pretty much there now.
Yep.
And that could be frustrating, by the way, because I know sometimes like, well, I want to play Basket Case by Green Day, and that's up tempo. I don't want to sit on my couch and play a ballad.
No, do it emo.
But do it emo Phillips, even better.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
But that is the best way to play something like Basket Case efficiently.
Do you have the time
Oddly,
to listen to me whine?
you're doing Shatner.
Yeah. About.
But to quote,
Yeah.
do you have the time?
But do you have it?
Well, take it slow. Take it slow first.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, okay, now this is number 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's about focus. And I mean, truly, and it's like, well, that's kind of an easy thing to say. Of course, we're supposed to focus, but it's hard to focus.
It's really hard.
Even if you're really determined to learn something, especially as technology moves on and our lives get busy, it is hard to focus. But there are some ways to help with the focus. Recording yourself is good because there's accountability there. Also, and then what you call, I never heard this. I don't think I'd ever heard this phrase. Active listening. Can you talk a little bit about active listening?
Yeah. So, on a basic level, active listening is going to be, can you identify the elements of what you're listening to? And this is a lot like mindful living. So if you want to practice mindfulness while you're doing something, you could say, all right, what do I hear? It's like, what do you hear right now? I hear Eugene's guitar. Well, I have earphones in. I hear voice, like sounds from my own body, basically, right? Because these are in. What do I see? You start naming things you see. You start naming things you feel. I feel the fabric of my. Anyways, that's a mindfulness deal there. So when you're practicing active listening, you want to practice being able to name the things you're hearing. So if it's a song like a. All right, so you heard a bend. If it's the guitar part, you heard chords with open strings, and then you heard chords that were fretted. Or where did you hear a snare drum? Can you figure out what beat the snare drum is on?
I heard a stop. I heard absolute silence at one point.
Okay, good. So like, if these are the beats,
2, 3.
what type of notes are they? What value are they?
Can I take a guess? I'm saying, well, first they were quarter notes, and then you did more stuff. 1,
Quarter notes
2,
and eights.
3, 4, 1. That was funky.
So does that make sense? Like, so you're kind
me.
of having, instead of music just caressing over you without you sort of knowing what's happening, you become aware of what's happening while you're listening to music. And that's the real key to being able to transcribe music down the road.
Oh gosh, once you get to that transcribing music level,
yeah.
Ooh man,
you
that
can't
is
listen to bad music anymore.
What's that?
You can't listen to bad music anymore. It makes it impossible.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So once you can identify the parts of something, you go, well, that snare's way too loud, and there's something wrong over there. That guitar's out of tune, and I just ate.
See, now I think right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can see
synesthesia.
Synesthesia. That's right.
So active listening is a great way to focus. But here's the biggest hint for just regular old focus of everyone in their lives, including me. How do you build a habit? You do
repetition.
The same things at the
Yes.
same times in the same places.
Oh, very good.
So if you practice guitar, if you leave the guitar near the door as a trigger to practice, because you see it every day when you leave for work, or you see it every day when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the first thing you see when you open your door.
Yep.
Okay. And then it's there, and you agree, hey, I'm going to practice every day, come rain or shine, no matter what's going on, at 6:21.
That's why you should practice indoors.
Rain or shine.
Just
I meant emotional rain, people.
Oh.
Okay. And And then so 6:21, I'm going to practice for 11 minutes. Believe it or not, you get a lot done in highly focused 11 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then that's how you get a habit going. And that's focus comes when your brain goes, this is what we were going to do right now. So if you get up and take a shower, you don't have to get too crazy about focusing on
This is
what
like
you're
going to
doing.
bed. You
Yeah.
turn off the devices, give yourself a ritual.
we used to.
The body says, oh, it is now time. We're about to go to sleep
Yep.
now. Yeah, by the way, do you make resolutions, New Year's resolutions? See, neither do I.
Yeah.
I was just asked this recently. I'm not against them. If people make them, great. I support you. I just tend to feel, in general, now I'm not speaking about really like extreme things like quitting smoking or something like that, but for the most part, it takes about 2 weeks to get used to doing something, or not doing something.
Yeah.
So I just think it's usually like a 2-week period, or if you can, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. Well, if you manage to do it those first 2 weeks, you can usually get through those breakers, and now it's part of your routine.
Yeah, right.
I also, this is just my take on this, so I'm not giving you this advice, but for me, okay, well, the fingerstyle stuff notwithstanding, that was rare for me to even announce my intention to do something. I tend to, I'll make the announcement to myself because I want to make a clear goal of something, whether it's, sometimes it's like, oh, I've always wanted to work out a chord melody version of fill in the blank, right? But I don't tell anybody I'm going to do that.
Paul Simon?
No, it's not a
Simon
Paul
Garfunkel?
Simon song. I
Okay.
meant
Actually
like
fill in the
put
blank
in
of
a
the
song that,
Okay,
yeah. It's a good song title though.
Fill in the blank's a great song
It's
title.
not bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Lamora Cut the Rain song. Very good. Thank you. Anyway, I just figure sometimes when we announce what we're going to do, a lot of people are like, good for you. Way to go. Yeah, that'll be great. You can do it. And we get that dopamine. We get the satisfaction from the support.
From the talking about it.
From talking about it. And then that dopamine thing.
Well, it takes it out of the doing of
That's
it.
right. Now I'm satisfied now.
Yeah. You're like, well, now I don't want to do it anymore. I think it's a good time to sit there and acknowledge every year, like, what was I doing wrong all last year that I kept repeating over and over again like if you sit on the edge of bed and you go like, well, how am I screwing myself over? And what would I do? What if I could do something, what would I do? And then aim lower than that and win.
Yeah. Well, see, now this is what, and then they're talking about the Facebook group, the Fender group, which is, well, you helped start it, and it is a very rare support group. I'm always struck by the kindness and the encouragement and the accountability. But it's such a beautiful thing that you guys have going there, and just keep it, just keep it going. Just keep it going, guys, because it's fine to announce your intent to do something. In fact, you'll most likely get helpful tips from fellow players, which is great. That's what makes it a community. So I know it sounds cheesy, but as somebody who's been observing it for years, it's wild. It's very rare. So guys, protect that by all means. By the way, I'm going to be doing office hours. I think the first Thursday in February or the second. And I think I'm going to be doing it from a hotel room because I booked it and not realizing I'm on the road. So, we'll just take bets on what the wallpaper is going to be like, that sort of thing.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess I'll have to bring a guitar.
Up to your room.
I'll steal one from the stage. No notice. Anyway, so we're going to wrap things up. We're going to get towards wrapping things up, but we want to let you know that we do have another round of the Learn on Till workshop coming
Starting next week.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, we'll start next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting next week, says Dylan.
Start next week.
We'll be here at 5:30 doing our normal hang with you guys. And then at 6 p.m., all Pacific time, we transfer over to the Till workshop thing.
And the link's in the description of this video.
The link's in the description of this video. You see here this.
Do it. Where are you pointing? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Again, I can never be a weather
person. That's beautiful.
learnontill.com, and then just search for Eugene and Dylan, and it'll put you right there.
Hotel artwork. Yes.
Hotel artwork. I'm
Thomas Kincaid's
I'm not
art nightmare.
I'm not tired of the travel. I'm always curious. Here's a terrible road. You ready? I'm just going to take your time with this one.
Okay.
Because I was retelling the story recently, and I'd almost forgotten it. Give me a little music, please. So we're checking in. It's a casino hotel. Let's just say it was like in Minnesota. Okay. Damn it! It was in Minnesota. Well, anyway, so we get in. It was like 2 or 2:30 in the morning. We played in another town, and then right after the gig, we traveled to the next gig, basically. So it's wicked late at night. We were probably sleeping on the bus and got off the bus and walked in. And you know, we're spoiled. We'd already been checked in by a tour manager. So they just hand us an envelope with our key and the room number on it. And we just stumble up to our rooms, right? Go to sleep. So wake up the next morning and I want to go take a shower. And I'm looking around and I thought, oh, this is kind of funny. I've never seen this before. But housekeeping had clearly forgot to stock the room with soap and shampoo. Odd mistake, but an innocent, busy. It's a big hotel casino thing. So I call down on the front desk and say, this is kind of funny, but housekeeping did not leave any soap or shampoo, and I'd like to shower. Can you have housekeeping send it up? And then the woman I'm speaking to says, well, did you not select your scent when you checked in? Honest, this is a true story. And, now look, I'd got a decent night's sleep, I thought, but I honestly thought, I don't think I understood what this woman just said. I didn't catch this. I said, sorry, can you repeat that? She says, did you not select a scent when you checked in? I thought, wow.
Sandalwood.
What? Oh, and she says, when guests check in, they're given an option of scents of soaps and shampoos to take with them to their room. And she said this like, this is how hotels work, sir.
Except every other hotel.
Except I've lived my whole life in hotels since I was 17. So I said, no, I thought, well, we didn't really check in. Like someone checked in for us and we were just handed. So I guess it was an innocent mistake. And I said, well, can someone bring some stuff here though to my room? And she says, well, what scent would you like? Yeah, ma'am, I don't know what scents you have. And she says, well, we have Rome.
Wow.
Again, I'm thinking, I'm not hearing this right. What was that? Rome. And now I'm thinking, and I said, how are you spelling that? And I realized no matter how she answered, it wouldn't really satisfy my curiosity to what the scent is. It
smells like ancient Rome?
The Colosseums? Or it sounds like ROAM, like a drifter. Just I don't know if I want to smell like either. So this was just wild. I said, just pick one and please send it. Now, a couple of years later,
she's frustrated.
She's
getting pretty frustrated.
She was baffled by me, and so then they sent some stuff. Now of course, get down to the venue, probably to catering or something like that. Grab lunch. The rest of the band and crew are there. And I'm a little embarrassed by this exchange I've had, right? And I sit down, I figure I'm not going to say anything because I may have been just out of my mind. It's what everyone was talking about. What's with the soap in this place? They had to ask you, and now I'm thinking, yeah, at the front desk, if everybody has to, so now it just takes forever to check in because there's a line of people smelling stuff. And a couple's going to argue. I don't want Rome.
I want sandalwood. I want lavender.
I know
it, but my grandmother wore lavender, and it drives me nuts.
I'm not giving you the name of the hotel. I am not naming names, Lamara. And by the way, we went back a couple years later, and I remember seeing the building because of the trauma. I was like, oh my god, this is the place. They didn't do that anymore.
Oh yeah,
they just put stuff in your room like a normal hotel would do. Yeah, they learned the hard way. Thank you. That was a little tale from the road there. Thank you for letting me express this. Getting this one off my.
Waiting on the.
Oh, you know what? Sean's right. We should have John McLennan come in as a guest.
Yeah,
he'd be great. Or he might be. Maybe he'll sub for me because there's a Wednesday where I'm gonna be out of town in February working. So anyway, thank you so much for the backup stuff here. That song's so good.
Woke up tired to the sound of thunder. Now I had a wonder.
You're right, it's Major 7. You're right.
Starting to a song from 1962.
You mind?
Great move right here.
Oh, working on the night move. Need the mother have the much to lose. Working on the night moves.
Get me there.
I'm closing in.
$2024.
Night moves, baby.
Such a good song, man. Way to go, Bob Seger. Everybody go learn Night Moves. Perfect song. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thank you for hanging with us. I hope you all got brand new shiny
Happy
guitars.
New Year.
Happy New Year if you're celebrating. By the way, walking here to your place, I was on this walking down the street, and the guy across the street, he just calls down and he says, "Hey, what you got in that case? What kind of guitar you got in that case there?" And I told him I said it's a American Telecaster Fiesta Red. He says, "Cool. I got a 53 Esquire."
Oh, this guy lives on. Don't screw with him.
I
dude.
didn't.
He's a multi-millionaire.
Oh, he's a rich guy?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, good for him.
He buys guitars to bury them with his relatives.
Oh, that's thoughtful. You know, Bob Marley is buried with his Gibson, his that kind of like Les Paul Jr. he had.
Where at? No.
At the end of your preposition. Straighten that up. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Everyone learn Mercury Blues, Money by Pink Floyd, Night Moves, and hold on loosely, all right? That guitar solo drives me nuts, man, because he goes between minor pentatonic and major pentatonic so fluidly. I love it. Yeah, John is great. We'll have to hit up John. I might have to take some lessons from John for that fingerstyle stuff, to be frank. What button do I push there, homebody? Still? Okay, fine. I'm not going to follow these changes. He's messing with me. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Isn't that the chorus?
Is it?
Yeah. Not the chorus. The
Was that the middle eight?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a hit.
Anyways. See you guys.